Okay, perfect. And I think I can toggle through this back and forth now. So, thank you everybody for coming on here. I just like taking the time for out of your day, and listening to a speech about differentiated in AI. I actually just came off an event here in Austin, Texas, and we were talking about this very thing. So, just to get started, if I had $100 for every time someone said we're adding an AI layer in the last month, I would be a very rich man. And likewise, if somebody said, "Do you really understand what that means?" I would also have to give those riches back. There's not a lot of individuals that completely understand what they are doing with that AI layer or what the illusion is behind that. So what I'm here to talk about today is something near and dear to me is differentiating. So we are in an AI boom where everything sounds the same. So it's the same wrappers, same workflows, same marketing language, and same features with different logos. But the next decade won't be defined by who uses that AI. It's actually going to be defined by who understands why. So that's why I asked that first question. And that begins with first principles. So breaking down AI product build to raw
Practicing.
fundamentals so that
How will
your product, sorry, say it again.
No, go, please go.
Oh, sorry. So we're really breaking it down so it becomes your product becomes inevitable, irreplaceable, and then also radically differentiated. So today I'm going to show you exactly how I do that exactly inside the companies I build, the founders I advise, and some of the enterprise teams that I optimize for. So what I'm really going to try to showcase is no theory, no fluff, and just applied intelligence of what we're really here for in its purest form. So I'll just go on to the next slide. And this is really what I came for is showcasing the truth about derivative AI. So most AI products are born obsolete, not because of the particular model that you choose or not because of the workflow, but because the founder or the enterprise or the operative started with the technology instead of the tension inside the user's life. So this is the example. I don't want to give a company name. I want to keep it a little bit ambiguous here, but a company in residential home services uh, wanted to automate scheduling, dispatch, invoicing, and customer communication. And they believed their problem was workflow automation. But after interviewing the techs in the field, we found the real user truth. And that is they hated driving back to the office for the paperwork. So that single emotional friction was costing the company more than any automation pipeline ever would. So instead of building, 40 AI features, we built one. We built an AI that rewrote the field notes into standardized invoicing in real time. So result, the technician saved 70 minutes in a day. Revenue per those technicians went way up. And retention of those individuals who have less friction went way up. And support tickets go dramatically down. So this isn't because of AI, but because we understood the pain. So in theory, or in everything, AI doesn't differentiate you. Understanding does. So to get to my core principles or how I build and these guidance of what and everything that I do, every great AI product begins with a painful truth, something small, sharp, and emotional. not the big vision, not the 5-year roadmap, just the one thing that your user dreads every day. If they don't feel it, if they don't feel that pain point, they won't adopt it. If they don't feel that pain point, they won't pay for it. And if they don't feel it, your product is optional. It's something that's nice to have. So find the smallest painful truth, and you'll never have to sell a product or a service or a workflow. It will sell itself. Number two, never automate until your workflow makes sense manually. So AI plus chaos equals autonomous chaos. I actually was just talking to my good friend Rich about this today. Automation does not fix the chaos, it only amplifies it. So if the workflow is broken manually, then AI is going to break it even faster and even at a higher degree. So it's going to be faster, louder, and at scale. So before you automate anything, map the exact steps a human would take or somebody in that loop. And if they had perfect clarity and unlimited time, then they would do this exact step or this exact process. So only when the manual version makes the most sense, it's predictable, it's linear, and it's understandable, do you earn the right to now apply AI and now to automate? So again, chaos plus AI equals automated chaos, and clarity plus AI equals leverage, your exponential leverage. So prioritizing the leverage over features is asking just one question. What is the single thing we can automate that saves the most time, the most money, or the most energy that we put through from a human perspective? So you're not trying to build 40 automations or 40 features. You're trying to remove one giant rock or one giant barrier that's slowing everybody down. Leverage is where exponential value lives, and features are where product teams get lost. So when you leverage the things that you really enjoy and leverage the things that you really can have an expertise from, and you get rid of what the features are and a tool set are, and where product teams continue to waste their time, that's where you single in on defining them those pain points and getting over them. So data before intelligence. AI is always downstream of data quality, which means data quality is downstream of questions quality. And question quality is downstream of leadership clarity. If a leader isn't clear on what matters, the team actually won't know what to measure. So if the team doesn't know what to measure, the data is going to be noisy. And if the data is noisy, the AI becomes unreliable. And intelligence actually comes last. Clarity comes first. So when we're living through this moment where everyone wants to build a giant AI platform, and the everything agent, the universal assistant, the full suite, everybody wants to build all of those. But platforms, they don't win early. Small micro agents and small micro bots do. Micro bots that solve one problem in one workflow and in one output outperform bloated generalists every time. So the key is start small, solve one job, so well that it feels magical. Everything about solving that one particular one output, one workflow, one job, it feels as if everything has organically come to a head and has come to what you are working towards. So then let that value or let that one solve continue to expand organically. I don't think that this is, I just saw the page here. I just got a note. Give me 1 second. Sorry, I just got a note from somebody. This is off a little bit. I can go back to this. This is right on my second use case here because I do want to give real world examples. I think it's very important. Uh, Honestly, I can talk about these series that we're chatting about, but the biggest thing I can give is the use cases. So I think we're on industrial procurement here. And sorry about this, but this is another user truth or a first principles framework here that we have. So this is a reoccurring emotional or expensive pain that did hurt. So we had a mid-sized industrial procurement team, and they had multi-step quote validations. But they thought their pain was speed of quoting. So we interviewed the team, we interviewed the staff, we interviewed the C-suite, the customers, and everything. So we found out that we waste tons of time. We're actually chasing incorrect documents from vendors. So it's not about the quoting that they actually do behind the scenes or pricing that's off or negotiation. It's actually misalignment of data or misalignment of information that comes in. So applying those first principles, the user truth was vendors send incomplete or the incorrect data. And the system truth was that we didn't have a standardized intake pipeline. And the value truth is we remove document friction, and this improves margins. So you have more retention, you have alignment of this process, you have the individuals that are at speed, but it's speed of what the data comes into them. So we have a document ingestion agent that flags all missing fields. It auto rewrites the vendor information, and then it requests corrections instantly from the vendors. So we don't have to have a platform. We don't have to have fancy UI UX. We just have one friction removing agent. So instead of all 40, we have one. So again, this just goes back to how do we create in truth and how do we create things that are high reliability? Oh, that just skipped past. Not sure why this is going kind of all over the place. Here, let's go past this one. This is going to be another example of insurance claims, which is also important. Just speaking of exactly what it means to implement this in the field and to get the most out of the one agent system versus the 40. But we'll go by that here, and we'll go into the 10x. So, what is the 10x improvement? So, if you had an enterprise sales team, a large enterprise software company with long sales cycles, the pain isn't around CRM management, not meeting notes, not forecasting. It was actually around we can't see which deals are expired or dying until it's too late. So we built an AI pipeline that analyzed every deal's communication, the patterns, and what is surfaced. So we see lack of response, sentiment change, risk signals, decision maker gaps, and then compliance mismatches. So the managers of these went from blind, not understanding what is in communication, not understanding why these are dying, not understanding why they are going to a graveyard. And then they went to, we understand exactly what the sentiment, we understand the response rate, we understand where the decisions are. So this is all to say AI does not do sales. It just visibly shows the truth. And that, in essence, is the 10x. So going from, this is very important because we're talking about use cases, we're talking about a larger framework. But if we had to go from 0 to 1, so if you had to begin and go to the first step, here's what I use across company. Number 1, what is the job to be done that hurts the most, or what are they experiencing the most pain from? Number 2, we have to remove every assumption that we have. So if the AI does not exist, we've never even heard about it, what would the perfect manual solution be? And where is that friction in the workflow? So along that workflow, who loses, the most time or the most money? And getting the data structure right, before writing any code, we gather entities, relationships, recurring patterns, exceptions, and then required metadata. And data is always 90% of the job. So then step 4 is we build a tiny agent that solves one bottleneck. So not a platform, not a dashboard, just one invisible agent. And then the 5th step is measure the one thing that matters: speed, accuracy, cost, output, retention. And if you can't measure it, don't automate it. So that's exactly the framework that I work on in every single one of my flows and every single one of my AI agents. I know I only got 10 minutes here, so I'm going to kind of try to quickly get through this. This is one of the most important factors of building a team and being a great leader. So great AI teams don't work in top-down structures. They work in autonomy. Developers, they need the freedom to create, but that freedom must produce results. So the matrix I use inside my team, axis 1, high, or a feature is predictable, repeatable, and scalable. And the low side of this is there's no speculation, there's no experimentation, and there's no moonshot. So axis 2 can be built in 48 hours. In the medium term, 1 to 2 weeks. Long is multi-month or initiative. And then we keep moving along these boxes, and we keep finding that of these agents and of this work that has to be done by all of our software developers, where do they fit in this quadrant? And how do we utilize that time the best for every part of our team? So our team needs to be short time, high reliability on 80% of what they do. On 20% of what they do, we need to be taking those moonshots. And those moonshots have to mean the effective bit of being accountable and being part of the team at all points. So I'm going to skip by this and because I really want to talk about the role of the leader. Because of course you can have this matrix, and of course engineers can understand exactly where they are. But the role of the leader, again, to go back to these last points that I talk about right in the middle, is you have to protect the clarity, ensure the team knows that one pain point. You have to guardrail, so you have to provide constraints to keep everyone accountable, but you have to let every developer innovate inside of them. And then enforce accountability through outcomes. So it's not hours, it's not effort, it's not noise, it's just measurable output. It's that speed, reliability, reduction of friction, and compounding value over time. So I want to leave a little bit of time for Q&A if that's a possibility, but really, this is, if you had to have one big takeaway from this, this is what differentiation means. So differentiation equals understanding times execution divided by noise. So the equation that every founder, investor, and builder in AI needs tattooed on their mind is exactly this. This is the formula of the next decade. So understanding, this is the deep, almost obsessive comprehension of their user's pain. Not the survey answer, not the feature request, but the truth behind the truth. So understanding is what allows you to see what the market misses. It turns all of those assumptions into insights. And it's the reason some products feel inevitable, because the builder understood something no one else took the time to understand, and that's execution. But understanding alone is just philosophy. It's a great journal entry. It's something that you have a late night conversation with a friend or a colleague. But execution is where differentiation becomes real. It's the workflow design. It's the micro agent that we talked about that you ship. It's the system that you architect. And it's the speed at which you learn everything of those pain points that we are learning. So AI execution compounds faster than any market that we've ever been in before. So understanding times execution, that's the power source. Now the denominator, noise. Noise is everything the world is doing wrong. Everything that you see the 95% of AI operatives that are getting it wrong, that's what they're doing. Noise is hype without impact. It's shipping features instead of solving problems. And it's noise is building platforms before nailing the first agent. It's also chasing novelty instead of what is clear. So if you copy what everyone else is doing, your numerator doesn't matter. Understanding multiplied by execution still gets all the way watered down if you're zeroed in on the noise. So what does this mean for you and for everybody here? It means differentiation isn't about being louder. It's about being true. True to the user, true to the workflow, and true to the bottleneck. So the companies that win in all of AI will be the ones that understand that deeply, execute with unrelenting velocity, and ignore absolutely everything else that I just spoke of. So understanding without execution is philosophy. Execution without understanding is chaos. And both are meaningless if you're adding all of the noise. So I really hope that was impactful. I wanted to be a little bit more precise. Obviously, there's some technical glitches in here. But what I want to say is AI doesn't replace people. AI replaces companies that ignore people. So if you remember one thing from today, let it be differentiation equals understanding times execution divided by noise. Cut the noise, find the pain, build the invisible win, and become irreplaceable. So I'm Jake Crowley. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay. I took a lot of notes, so I probably will make additional question later in LinkedIn.
Yeah, I have a question from the audience. Alex Archibald said, my understanding is that before we talk about technology and features, we need to have a workshop with leadership and IT team members of our customers in order to understand better their pain points. Is that correct? What is the best roadmap then to manage any initial possible AI project with our customers?
Yeah, again, it's just understanding their pain point the most. So what's simple? What is the one that is decisive for them? And to the point of talking to leadership, yes, leadership has to be involved with all of the AI automation that is completed. If they are not behind the project, it will allow for ambiguous parts, which means if they're not behind the exact way or the will of the operative or of the new workflow, it will go into the basket of that 95%. Because without the leadership side, the leadership has to be behind, but also have the uncomfortable conversations. There's going to be uncomfortable conversations that come with a client, customer, or internal operation that they have a simple belief, but when we actually live in truth and we find the workflow that fits, we are going to probably have a difference in what that communication is, and we have to have the backing of leadership. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, for sure. That was a great answer. I have another question that he said
Sure.
thank you. So I have another question here. In your work with the startups, what's the number one red flag that tells you that AI product will fail to differentiate?
Number one flag is somebody asking for a tool or somebody that is asking for something in a short term. That's the number one
Mm,
red flag. And that's not only for founders, that's amongst enterprise and that's among operatives. Whenever anybody has, like I said, that noise that comes into their mind, you know right away that they're solving for something that is very short term and something that is already probably conditioned or already something that is out in the market. And the only way that we can actually do a solve is we understand intimately that process or understand intimately the pain point. But always the red flag is I just need a tool or I just need something that can kind of satisfy a very niche or a very small bit. And I will never do business with somebody that is always in that standpoint.
okay. Okay, understood. So following that same line of questions, when a founder comes to you saying, we are building a chat GPT on X, anything. What's your first question to help them escape from the derivative trap? Because there's where you just said what's gonna happen because maybe there's something there out in the market for them. So what
Yep.
will be the first question for them?
Oh, that's a great question because I just spoke a lot about how I would decline business or I wouldn't want to be a part of those operations, but I also am very helpful when somebody comes to me if they are serious. So if they are serious and they're asking the right questions, but they are involving themselves in the AI wrapper or something that's a derivative, what I would ask them is, do you understand your customer? That'd be the first question I would ask back. And usually their reply is yes, and this is where I understand them. And I would make them show me, and then I would make them explain the pain point better than the customer can. And then I would know that they would be able to kind of get outside of the AI wrapper, but only until then. So that would be my first question back.